Hello everybody, Lawrence Fleming here again. I hope you're having a good Holy Week with Palm Sunday last weekend and we have Easter coming up. It's a super high watch time, but we're making assumptions to get there. Everybody is. Anybody who's predicting this time is saying that it matches with what God has done before. Yeah, but He's done a lot of things. And we're not supposed to really know the timing, so it's a guess. I hope we're going to make it this weekend, but I don't know. If this isn't it, we've got another high watch coming up a week or so later. Pretty much the month of May and into June. There are all kinds of things that have to happen for this to happen that God has got planned out. We don't even know what the steps are. We just need to be patient. But we can see in the world, everything is beginning to collapse. It's going to take one little thing. As they say, the straw that breaks the camel's back. We've got high inflation. Our consumer price index for March, 8.5%. It hasn't been that high for over 40 years. Young people have no idea what that means. It basically means inflation, which is what we're seeing, and nobody has confidence in the dollar. And they're trying their best to also take a stab at Bitcoin and the other cryptocurrencies because they're going to eventually come up with their own. They're going to say, well, they tried, but they didn't do it right. We'll show you how to do it. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to give you cryptocurrency. What better way to get people bought into something than to just give it to them for free? Drug dealers do that. If you're not into drugs and you start, you can get drugs for free until you get hooked. And then you have to pay. And the way out is not as easy as the way in. And that's kind of how the devil works. He does that with pretty much any sin enticement that he has for us. I'm wearing my Bruce Lee t-shirt. I never met him personally. I wish I had. But I have trained at his gym in Oakland. I'm a black belt. I probably couldn't fight my way out of a paper bag now because I've got my birthday coming up next month and I will be 68. And I'm not going to go out in one piece. I've got quite a few pieces of metal in my body holding me together. As long as medicine can keep doing that, I'll keep doing what I'm doing, but I'm having a harder and harder time trying to do this stuff. I don't do stunt work anymore because I can't. I probably could do some of it, but the unions now have pretty much blocked me. If I'm not in the Actors Union, SAG, or one of the other unions, I can't do stunt work. And they say, well, it's because they want the insurance. Yeah, to a degree, that's right. But I should be behaving myself when I'm working like that anyway. I tend to play servants or public officials. I play police a lot, firemen. I've been a chauffeur twice. I like to do my Happy Hogan bit, if you know who I'm talking about. I really wish I could share with you some of what I do, but there's non-disclosures on pretty much everything. I've been in a lot of things over the past few years, but I didn't get started in acting. I grew up in Southern California and chose not to get into it because I saw what was going on. We're seeing, as they arrest some of these guys, we're finding out what kind of a Hollywood it was. It wasn't nice. You had to sell your soul to the devil to get into it. And those that did work hard really resent somebody else coming in that didn't have to work hard. I tell people when you get on set, you've got to mind your manners. I'm doing background now, which means I really have to mind my manners. I can't talk to anybody like I used to. I've produced over 100 films, and when I was producing, I could go up and talk to anybody. And I have to try to zip it and bite my tongue if I see something that should be talked about. I can't do it. But I tell people when you're on set, there's two types of actors. And I tell people this is my two Toms. I know I'm going a little bit off my Christian theme, but I think we've pretty well nailed it. We're either being raptured this month or next. It's got to be this year, or we're completely wrong on the Revelation 12 sign and the fig tree generation. And we have that anniversary coming up shortly after my birthday. My birthday's May 6th. May 14th is the anniversary of Israel. But like I was getting ready to say, I can tell people to be careful of the two types of Toms on a set. And I've talked to both of them. I've been on the set with both of them. Tom Hanks, fun to talk to, great actor, A-lister. Anybody would want him in a show. Just don't get on an airplane with him. But I was in Sully, and there was a bar in the scene that he goes in and gets a drink because he's out dealing with all the issues. So I'm talking to him in the entryway to the bar because he has to walk out on the street and take a phone call from his wife. I'm talking to him. We're carrying on a conversation. He gets a cue from Clint Eastwood to begin acting. Clint Eastwood doesn't do what they do on normal sets. There's no rolling, rolling, rolling. You know, they don't do all that. He learned a long time ago not to do that. He likes a quiet set. Rolling, cut, no yelling. But anyhow, Tom Hanks goes, "Excuse me, I gotta go do my thing while we're talking." He goes out there, does this scene, comes back, and reinitiates the conversation right where we left off. Very comfortable actor, very confident. The other extreme, and you're going to find actors in the complete gamut across this board, but the other extreme would be Tom Cruise. Another excellent A-lister. Another actor that you would want on any production right now. Guaranteed to bring in box office. But on set, he focuses so much on his character. You know, people say they put 110% in, he puts 150% in. To the point where if you pull him out of character, he's liable to walk off the set. It's just the way he is. Not filming, not working, both of them are pleasant. They're fun to talk to. I'm not into Tom Cruise's religion, but that would be a message for another video. I'm just kind of talking, you know, when you know you're dying, you see your life flash before you, you kind of see these images. Well, I'm kind of getting these coming to mind because I've had a very good life. God has taken care of me. But I didn't get into acting when I lived out in Southern California. I grew up in Van Nuys and West Hollywood. Some very nice areas out there back then. My dad was a celebrity in his own right. He was a Major League Baseball player. He played for Boston Red Sox and Chicago Cubs from 39 to 46. But anyhow, I've seen the world, all different. When you go from one country to the next, the only thing that's different is the language. People are people. They want the same thing. They have the same dreams. They want family and love. So just because we're over here, God's going to eventually focus on Israel. And a lot of what's going on in the world is based on what's going on in Israel. But he's going to rapture the whole world, the Christian part of it. We're going to have a major impact when we do on the world government. Like I said in one of my other videos, it might be the straw that breaks the economies of a number of countries. The one world government, the woke government, wants to topple all the democracies that are around the world. They don't want the dictators either, but it's easier for them to be pulled into line. The pieces are in place. It won't take much for Russia to move from where they're at around the Great Sea and over to Syria. Won't take much at all. In fact, it would be easier to go there than to go back to Russia. And that's what they could say. It's just, we're done fighting Ukraine. We got what we want. We got a pathway to the Gulf, to the Mediterranean. We're just going to stop it in Syria and drop off all our goods. We got too much stuff here. It won't take long. The hook. God will put a hook in them and pull them down into Israel. An earthquake so big to split the mountain and kill off this army coming down. It's got to do a lot of other damage too. That area is really prone to earthquakes. The temples had some destruction in the past. There was the earthquake when Christ was on the cross. It is finished. So they get earthquakes. I lived in Southern California, and we got a lot of earthquakes. California gets probably 100 earthquakes a day, but they're microquakes, they're small. The two plates, which we didn't know about until relatively recently, that the continental plates are moving constantly, at least until they get stuck. And the California plate has been stuck for some time. They've been predicting the big quake out there. It's not going to turn Nevada into beachfront property. It's not that kind of a movement. The movement is north and south. Los Angeles, in a million years, if we were to go that route, would be up where Seattle is now. So that's the direction of the movement. So they're going to get hit with a major quake. They're probably the furthest from the right of any of the states that are out there. They're going to pay for it. My son lives out there, and I've got some nieces and nephews out there. I'm not 100% sure on all of them, but I know that most of them will be with us when we get up to the clouds. So they won't have to experience it. But eventually this whole world is going to start trembling. Maybe it's because of the Wormwood asteroid coming at us. Again, I'm kind of just rambling on this video because there's not a whole lot to teach on. We know he's coming to get us, and it has to be this year, or we've all been wrong on all of our seasonal calculations. Not on direct days. People are wrong on the direct days all the time. But the seasonal indicators, we're told that we will know the season. And this is it. The fig tree generation starts in the springtime. We're in the springtime. The fall feasts, including Passover, this year, all the Jewish holidays are for the Jews. And I think that those will apply during the final day, the 70th day of Daniel. But we're the church generation, or church age. We don't follow any of those laws. We have Jesus. We don't need to follow laws. We follow Jesus, and in doing so, we automatically do what the law says. It's like Jesus says, love the Lord your God and love your neighbor as yourself. If you do those two things, you've fulfilled the law in its entirety. Now, I'm not saying go out and party, because that's not my nature, but I am saying enjoy this time. Don't be fretting. Get together with family during this time. Treat Easter as a major, major holiday and get together with friends and family and celebrate life. Celebrate the one who gave us life. And the rest will take care of itself. If you don't have the money to pay your bills, do the best you can, but don't worry about it. I always find that I don't get the money until I need it. That way I know where it goes. I've lived early on in my Christian life where I was trying to do things. I was trying to help God. And I would spend money in places where I shouldn't have to try to help him because he was doing it a different way. But I like it better now. I don't know sometimes where the money's going to come from. The moment I need it, it's there. I'm working a little bit more than I normally do because I'm trying to help my family. But I don't have to. I don't have to work. I'm doing it because I want to. And they'll get back on their feet again and they'll be fine. And then I'll go back to doing what I like to do. My plan, God willing, is to be in a campsite in a couple of days. I'm kind of watching the weather. I'd like to be in a campsite over Easter. Of course, I'll get dressed and go to church because I'm going to be doing a dry run campsite where I'm going to test out my equipment. So it's close by. It's 5 minutes away. My hiking trails are about that as well. But there's no campsites there. I got to go to a different spot. And I've got 2 or 3 in the area that I can go to, including a state park. And once everything checks out, I'm probably going to head up into the mountains because, these are hills here coming from the west. They're not mountains, they're hills, but I'll be up there where it's a little bit cooler. And I could even spend the summer traveling between there, Tennessee, Kentucky. I do have one film to do the end of the month, if we get that far. Again, I just want to assure you, be happy with this time that's left. Don't be fretting. If you have an ailment, and I've had enough of those, I know what it's like to feel pain, and when the pain won't go away, I understand that. The tendency is just to take another pill or have another drink, and that doesn't work. It's short term, but it hurts more when you come down off of those than before you started. Trust in the Lord and pray to Him to lessen or remove the pain. Or, if you're supposed to endure it because it strengthens you, trial by fire, then ask for Him to give you the patience to endure it. I've got a plate in my neck. I got T-boned in a car accident. Not my fault. Drunk driver. But I'm limited in my neck movement, but I don't have any pain. I can't go completely to the side, but no pain. God has taken care of it. And I prayed for God to take care of it. And He found me a doctor that when I woke up in the morning after my surgery, the incision pain was so small compared to the pain of the pinched nerve. They asked me if I wanted morphine, and I said, well, what happens if I take it, and what happens if I don't? And they said, if you don't take it, you go home earlier. Fine. I want to go home. And that's what I want to do now. I want to go home. Whatever we're enduring now, you can see a light at the end of the tunnel. It's coming. the light of the angels. God always goes with his best. We're going to get the shouting from the sky. I don't know if we're going to hear it or not. I know what a shofar sounds like, but I don't know what it's going to sound like. Everything sounds different depending on where you're at. What's it going to sound like coming from the clouds? I'm excited, a little bit nervous, but not frightened. Okay, I'm going to wrap this one up. I think I can get another video out. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I think I can get another video out Thursday or Friday from the campsite, depending on the weather. Rain doesn't bother me. And if I have to, I'll put my GoPro in a waterproof case. So look forward to that. I look forward to your comments. And I hope you're having a blessed week. Till we meet in the skies, God bless.